Hi everybody, it's Sherry from the CGH Health Foundation, and I'm back with another What's Cooking CGH video. I always try to do stuff that's really easy and basic, and one of my favorite easy and basic meals are all these one pot or one pan meals. And I especially like the sheet pan suppers if you haven't seen those. Here are a couple of pictures of sheet pan suppers. And they're so simple. You just put your protein on the sheet pan and you can put your vegetables, even potatoes, and put everything in the oven and just roast it. You can't get much easier than that. But I saw another version or idea that I wanted to try, and it's for another one pan meal. But in this one, we're going to add some grain. And it's got to be a quick cooking grain. But again, everything just goes in one pan and it goes in the oven and it doesn't need a whole lot of babysitting. The version that I'm going to do today, I'm calling a one pan Asian quinoa. And so the grain I'm starting off with is quinoa, which you may have seen this in the grocery store. It comes in different colors. I bought the tricolor one, which has red and white and black quinoa in it, and just because I think it's pretty, but you can get all red or all white versions. Quinoa is a pseudo grain, so it's actually a seed. And I don't know if you know the difference between a grain and a seed. I wasn't sure if I really knew the difference, and so I had to go and look it up. And so this comes from an organization that tells you the difference between similar things. It says a seed is an ovule containing an embryo, while a grain is a fusion of the seed coat and the fruit. Typically, seeds are planted to grow plants, while grains are harvested for food. Grains provide food from the fruit part, while seeds mainly provide food from the embryo parts. I'm not sure if I even still understand the difference, but quinoa is technically a seed. We eat it as a grain, a whole grain. It's a high protein grain too. In fact, it contains all the amino acids, so it's a complete protein. So I'll get started here. I'm starting with the quinoa, and it's a quicker cooking grain. It cooks in about 20 minutes. And all I'm going to do is take a cup of quinoa and I'm going to put it in the bottom of my casserole dish. This is just a 9x13 casserole dish. And then to make things really, really easy, I have a bag of stir-fry vegetables. So this one has broccoli and carrots and peppers. It's got some onions in there, maybe a little bit of butter chestnut. And I'm just going to sprinkle that in the pan right on top of the quinoa. Okay, next Asian ingredient I'm going to add is some shelled edamame. So this is what it looks like when I buy it at my grocery store. They call it mukimaki, but you might find a bag that says shelled edamame. And so edamame is a soybean that's grown for humans, edible soybeans for humans. And it is, again, a high protein bean, a complete protein bean. And you'll find it in a lot of Asian restaurants as an appetizer and stuff like that. But it's going to get sprinkled here right on top of my vegetables. Okay. The other thing I thought I would add, just to add a little bit of sweetness, I have about a cup of pineapple, diced pineapple. This is just the canned diced pineapple, and I'm going to sprinkle it on top here. All right, can't get much easier than that. Moving forward to the liquid, because we have to have something for the grain to cook in. I'm starting out with 2 cups of low sodium vegetable broth. And to my broth, to keep going with the Asian flavors, I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of low sodium soy sauce. Goes right in there. And I'm going to add a tablespoon of rice wine vinegar. Give it just that little bit of acid. And Asian flavors, to me, that means garlic, it means ginger, and I am going to use fresh ginger today. And so what I have here is about a teaspoon of fresh ground ginger and about 2 cloves of garlic. Now, if you've never worked with fresh ginger, this is kind of what it looks like. You can find it in pretty much any grocery store. And what I do is I keep it in my freezer. So if you think you won't use it a whole lot, that's the thing to do. If the easiest way to peel fresh ginger is just to take a spoon and the tip of your spoon and scrape away the skin on the outside. And I usually just peel off about as much as what I'm going to use and leave the skin on. And I keep it in a little plastic bag and keep it in my freezer. So anytime I want fresh ginger, I can pull it out and put it in my dish. If you did not want to invest in this, although it's very, very cheap, you could use dried powdered ginger. You're just going to want to use a lot smaller amount. So I have a teaspoon of fresh ginger. You would probably want to use less than half a teaspoon, probably just a quarter teaspoon of the dried powdered ginger. And then I have 2 cloves of garlic, and I pressed them with my garlic press. And again, you could use garlic powder if you wanted to. And in that case, again, you're going to use less garlic powder than you would the fresh garlic clove. So probably a half a teaspoon of garlic powder. So I'm going to add these into my liquid mixture. The ginger, the garlic, and take my whisk and whisk that up. To grate the ginger, I just use my plain grater here if you're using the fresh ginger. Okay, so I got my liquid all ready to go, and I am just going to pour the liquid over all the ingredients in the pan. There you go. All we have to do now is cover this. I've got my oven preheating to 350 degrees, and I'm going to cover, if I can get this. Of course, wouldn't you know it? I'm going to cover this with foil. I'm going to put it in my 350 degree oven. And that's going to take about 45 to 50 minutes. You want to cook it until the pretty much all of the liquid has been absorbed by the grain. And then when it comes out of the oven, you have cooked Asian quinoa with the vegetables. If you wanted to garnish this, some great garnishes would be some sliced scallions, would be great Asian food. Maybe a little sprinkling of sesame seeds would be great on this. And another great addition might be a squeeze of lime. And there you have it, my 1-pan Asian quinoa. Let's give it a taste. It's pretty good. You can taste the ginger, garlic, and that pineapple gives it just a touch of sweetness. So something kind of different. I can think of all kinds of variations on this. And again, you want to be a quick cooking grain, so maybe some quick cooking brown rice with beans and corn and tomato and some salsa or some taco seasoning along with your broth. You could do Italian versions. The possibilities are endless. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I hope you'll give it a try and let me know. All of our cooking videos, including a couple of other really easy one-pot meals. There's a one-pot taco pasta. There's a one-pot gnocchi, pizza gnocchi meal that is on our YouTube channel, along with all the other What's Cooking CGH meals. See you again next time, and goodbye.